Hello, my name is Kate McMahon, and I'm your host for Profile. Really excited to introduce you today to Cory Metters. Cory, nice to have you here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me today.
Yeah, and you are an incumbent running for re-election for the Chatham Select Board.
Correct, yes. This would be my third term. I originally ran in 2015. At that time, there were two open seats. Two of the current select board members decided to step down, leaving two seats open. At the time, I was actually serving on the planning board. I'd been finishing up actually my 8th year on the board, and decided that it might be interesting and viable to put my name out for the Board of Selectmen, now Select Board. And so I pulled papers in February of 2015 and put my name out, and was successful in 2015. I ran again in 2018. At that time, the two seats had three potential candidates. I was successful in 2018, and this will be my third term if successful. Yes.
Great. Great. Thank you for your service to the town of Chatham. They're lucky to have you there. Now, before we get started regarding your background and your platform, for our audience, can you just explain how the board works, and then additionally a little bit about the election?
Sure. So Chatham is built with a 5-member select board. We are considered part-time. We are not salaried. We have an annual stipend, but we are considered part-time, and we have a full-time town manager to run kind of the day-to-day operations of the town. Select board is the executive entity of our town. Policymakers, review of different mechanics. We place citizens, volunteers on our various boards and committees to help serve the operations of the town. And I do laugh because in the sense of a part-time, we are full-time. With technology and emails and texts and everything, we're accessible 24/7, and we have a very engaged community, which is wonderful. But we do it because I think all of us, I'll speak for all of us, we all do it because we want to put back to the community, and it is enjoyable. We have a really good board right now, and but we are part-time with a full-time town manager, and various department heads, staff, et cetera, going down the chain, and we have a very engaged public that helps us with the operations of all our projects and policies and stuff. So as far as the election itself, this year there are 2 seats open. It's usually 2 seats and 1 seat depending on the year. There are 2 of us who are incumbents. Myself and Dina Castro are both running for re-election. We have a challenger, Tom Wilson, who is sought to be a new voice on the committee. I guess that is his platform. And we will have an election on Thursday, June 17th, for live voting. Early mail-in voting is available right now for those who are interested or not able to vote on the 17th. But we're going to have an election and for another 3-year term.
That's great. That's great. Now let's talk a little bit about Cory. So tell me about your background.
In a nutshell, I mean, I was born and raised in the Cape. I grew up in Chatham, went to Chatham High School, and when it was Chatham High School, class of 91, 34 kids in my graduating class, very small. Went off to college, UMass Amherst, slightly larger school. Got married. My wife Rebecca and I, we went up to the South Shore. She was from Cohasset. She went to Cohasset High School, so we moved up to the South Shore, and we sought, quote, real jobs. Out of college, my wife was the first one to get a real job. She did marketing up in the Randolph area. I spent a year working for Coca-Cola New England out of Needham for a year. Great experience, really enjoyed it, but it was a 1-year kind of contract. Then I found myself into working for a bank, private bank in Randolph, Massachusetts. I went to school for psychology, so clear fit. So I worked for the bank for many years, and I got a phone call one day from my previous summer employer. There was a candy and ice cream shop in Chatham that I worked at as a child. It was my 14 through early years of college job. And they had decided to put it on the market. Well, next thing I know, I'm buying myself a candy store. Still lived in Cohasset, or that was our residence at the time, but I would stay with my parents in Chatham during the summer because it was a little bit hard to commute back and forth. The bank that I had worked for, I gave them notice. They realized it was seasonal, and they were kind enough to actually offer me employment in the wintertime for several months, even after I gave my notice to leave. So I was thrilled to go back to Cohasset in the winters, work for the bank for a couple months, and then start the routine over again. Finally decided to have kids. We have 4 boys. I got one in the high school, one in the middle school, two in the high school, one in the middle school, one in the elementary school. And we decided to move back to Chatham. We have a home in Chatham. We're in our 21st summer with a candy and ice cream shop in Chatham. So it's doing fine. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's been, we've had ups, we've had downs, and last year was definitely an interesting summer. But yes, so I've traveled around occupational wise. I enjoy being a small small shop merchant in Chatham. We have a great community of merchants. Downtown is a gem. It's changed over the years. Some of the character is we've lost because certain businesses have not been able to survive. But it's a great downtown area, and very happy to be able to maintain my business in Chatham.
That's great. That's great. So can you tell us a little bit about your platform and what's important to you as a select board member?
I've always been kind of a very basic, cut and dry perspective. I truly appreciate the input from the public. I want to hear from the public. We are elected by the people to serve, and the people, the citizens, the voters want to have their say and input. We have a vast knowledge of experience in our community. If you look at the backgrounds of our citizens, you'd be amazed. And they can provide input to the board and help us, do the job that we're supposed to do. I like to listen to people. I like to weigh both sides of the issues before making any rash decision. I recognize we have a tremendous amount of work. It's not just a little topic here and there. We are constantly bringing bigger issues to the table. We have affordable, attainable housing right now. Very much support it. I know how difficult it's going to be to get to the percentages that we ideally want to get. But this is more of a philosophical perspective for me. I want to move forward with this. We have to be bold now. When I joined the planning board, we were at 4.7% for affordable housing percentage in the community. We haven't made that much impact in that percentage since I joined the planning board, unfortunately. And it's difficult. We as a town can only work so fast in certain circumstances. I think it is realistic to say that we are going to need to have a public-private partnership moving forward to really move forward with affordable, attainable housing. There's private entities that can move quicker and maybe securing properties and houses for the community and the town than the town can, because we have certain mechanics that we just are tied to. It's just it's just the way it is. I like to the Council on Aging project. That is I'm not saying a divided topic right now, but it's a big issue. A municipal project of $8 million should have a lot of discussion. I'm supportive of the proposed 1610 location that we have on the table right now. I think it's a viable location. It is between the 2 roundabouts that we were recently done in the West Chatham Corridor project. Some people have mixed feelings about how that project has come out, and I do think for one of our neighborhood centers that the 1610 location is a truly viable location. $8 million price tag, like any other municipal price tag, I understand the concerns. Cost of materials is expected to be going up. But any new construction of any municipal project, this is something we're going to have to deal with. It's going to be part of the budget. We have to factor that in. But I do hope the 1610 location at this town meeting is supported. The senior center conversation has gone on for quite a few years, and I think it's time that we kind of decide on a location and move it forward. I'm also very concerned with our elementary school status or future outlook. I understand, there are some declines in the enrollment population, but again, this is more of a philosophical. I think the town of Chatham should maintain a elementary school within its borders. I think it's part of the character and the fabric of a community. I'd like to see how things progress as far as enrollment. We have a great, Monomoy regional school system. We have our high school regionalized, we have our middle school regionalized, and we have 2 elementary schools that are, one in Chatham, one in Harwich, which are serving the needs of the students. That's first and foremost. What is best for the students? So I'd like to support maintaining the elementary school within our borders. Do what we can to support staff, teachers, but I understand their perspective. There's going to be some discussion about an upper and lower elementary school program moving forward. Is that the most viable? But I'm willing to go through all that conversation and figure out what is best for the students. I have my youngest is in elementary school. Next year he'll be out, so I'm out of that hands-on race with that. But it is something near and dear to me. Just in general, I enjoy serving. Someone asked me the other day, like, what is my most memorable experience? What is if someone were to, Google me and like, what's my platform? But honestly, the things that I do that I most enjoy, the general public will probably never see, because I get contacted either by person, by email, by phone, and it could be the little things that I'm willing to try to figure out the answer for the citizen. I will contact a department head or staff to help navigate an issue. I'm not looking for being in the spotlight. Politics and public speaking was never my strong point, but I got on the planning board, years ago. Was happy to start serving, and then in 2015, when I ran for the Board of Selectmen, now the Select Board, I just enjoy giving back to my community. I'm just a calm, easy voice, willing to listen. I think maybe my only criticism is sometimes people feel I listen too much, which is fine. I can err on that side, but I enjoy serving my community because I'm fully invested. I grew up here. I own my residence is here. My business is here. I got 4 kids in the school system. I mean, I'm invested in this. So that's kind of in a nutshell where I am.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing that. Public servants are amazing, and here on the Cape, I've lived plenty of places, but so many folks are willing to serve. I think it's awesome.
No, volunteering in the community is critical. I've tried to maintain a consistent reach out to the public. Will you consider serving on this committee? There's an opening that committee. And I'm not saying I'm recruiting, but I am reaching out to people to consider serving, because without the various boards and committees, both regulatory and voluntary, we really can't operate in the manner we want to operate. So it is critical for those people to step up and serve and volunteer on the groups. And I truly appreciate them spending the time, because it can be a tremendous amount of time for some of these committees. Because some are more straightforward. Some you have to do a little more daily research. There's meetings, there's site visits. There's a variety of components to each committee, and it takes time.
Yeah, it does. It does. So, is there any additional information that you would like to share with our viewers today?
No, I just I've served for 2 terms. I would very much like to be reelected. If I wasn't, I would not have put my papers out in February. I truly appreciate the opportunity to have served Chatham. I believe I add an element of local knowledge, calm, easy listening, perspective. I'm not afraid to be the lone vote or in the minority of the votes. We've had plenty of votes over the years that I've been outvoted 4-1, or in some cases there's been 3-2 votes and I've been in the minority. And I'm fine with that. I'm happy with that. Sometimes certain votes have been reconsidered because after we voted as a board, the public has weighed in a little bit stronger, and we've had to reconsider some of our positions. So, which I truly appreciate. I'm going to vote in what I feel is the best position for the town. I've never voted just to kind of maintain votes or keep a positive position. I think people, growing up in Chatham, a lot of people, local people, know who I am. They have opinion of me, hopefully more positive. Those who disagree with me have been able to approach me, and we agree to disagree. And it's always professional and cordial. And we could be on the complete opposite sides of a position, but we can have a calm conversation about it and try to press each other's point. Like, no, I really like this. No, this is really where you should be going. But we can do it in a calm, professional motion. And that's what I've appreciated serving with the town, is that no one has ever gotten very vicious or nasty in any of my positions.
Mm-hmm.
We've had conflicts in our positions, but we've always done it professionally. So, and that's what I want to maintain with the board.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
And I hope you have a great summer at the store.
I think it's going to be a little on the busier side.
Yeah.
Yep. There's obviously going to be a little going on with some of the mandates that are expiring on the 29th and what moves forward over the summer. But hopefully we can all have a healthy, safe summer. All the businesses that need that extra bump in revenue gets it. That every business that gets that has a shortage of staffing needs, finds a way to fill those voids. But it's going to be an interesting summer for the Cape, and I hope we all do it in as best we possibly can.
Yeah, and people have to have patience at these businesses too.
They do. They do. I mean, a lot of the food industries, especially, I think some of the restaurants are going to be strained for what they can provide for service. And, you got younger kids working that some of them may be their first time even working in the industry. And you got to give them a little bit of space to kind of grow and learn. And patience is probably a huge element of the summer.
Yeah. Exactly. And Cory, when and where will the election be?
The election will be on Thursday, June 17th at the Chatham Community Building right off of Main Street. That is for the in-person voting, but early mail-in voting is available now. There's going to be no early in-person voting this year, but early mail-in voting is available through our town clerk with in-person voting on Thursday, June 17th.
Well, thanks again for being here.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You bet. And thanks for joining us today. And until next time, we'll see you.